All right, hello all. Hope you guys had an amazing Friday. It is a beautiful Friday, by the way, here in Southern California, an awesome supermoon. I don't know if any of you guys have ever checked out a supermoon before, but it's pretty sick. You can see it in the morning, you can see it at night. Even better, even more beautiful, especially in October with all the spooky stuff of Halloween going around. So just it just sets the mood, going outside, smelling that fire pit weather, especially here in Southern California, where we probably get about maybe three, if we're lucky, 5 months of like cold, shivering weather. We hardly do. We hardly do. But of course, once when it's too cold, we always kind of complain about it. So, definitely 1,010%, love living in California. I'm a sunshine kind of guy. As you can tell from my, my personality, I just love summertime. I just love summertime. All right, guys. So, well, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez here. Today, we have a pretty awesome show lined up. We have our WWE Smackdown preview. We're going to, talk about it a little bit. Obviously, it already aired on the East Coast, but not here. I have it recorded. It's going to be live. Well, not live, obviously. It's going to be on the USA Network. Can't wait to find out. Obviously, if any of you guys have any spoiler alerts or anything like that, make sure you hit it up in the chat. Also, we're going to talk about what happened on TNA, Ring of Honor. We're going to review that, and then we're going to talk about the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day is possibly on the verge of a breakup. There's been reports of multiple superstars like Carlito, like Finn Balor. Every single one of them are most likely going to start getting different storylines, especially I think they're gonna, we'll dig on into it in the segment, and then we're going to talk about in our fourth segment. We're going to talk about WWE Raw and SmackDown. Both shows are heading toward 3 hours. We're going to talk about the positive sides, also some of the negative sides, and me, having that happen. And then our fifth and final segment, something we do every Friday. I leave you guys with some wrestling breaking news to kind of ponder over the weekend about, and ultimately try to come up with your own hot takes. So maybe you guys can kind of formulate, let them circulate in your brain a little bit. Maybe hit me up in the chat of how you guys feel about it. So it's going to dig on into the show. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link. Hit up that super chat, guys. Whether if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely 1,010% all ears. So we just want to make sure you guys are feeling, part of the mix, making sure you guys are keeping in the conversation. Obviously, your guys' thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes are greatly appreciated here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, use that super chat. It's that $sign below that chat box. Whatever you put in there is going to be guaranteed to be featured, talked about, maybe debated about on live TV. Well, not TV, on live. What would the stream? Live stream. So make sure you guys, don't be chatting. Tell me, guys. Tell me how you feel, and should be totally awesome. Also, it's a great way to support the network, guys. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, by all means, we need your guys' support, your love. Give a little bit of love back, 1,010%. So obviously, whatever you guys donate is going to make sure that all these awesome podcasters, they're amazing at what they do, and what they do is bring you guys awesome sports content Monday through Friday through their respective shows. So, yeah, don't be afraid to, tip and donate. We are absolutely super grateful, first and foremost, before you guys do anything. Super grateful for each and every one of you guys, your time, your attention. Absolutely. And for everybody who joins us here on the GSMC Sports Network, daily, your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show. Make sure you follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. But of course, in terms of talking sports, criticisms, they come abroad. Obviously, feedback is a gift. Say whatever you want inside that chat. Hell, even give me a shout out what your city you're listening to. Maybe you guys have some exciting weekend plans that you're dying to tell somebody because your best friend didn't pay her phone bill and you can't tell her. I'm just kidding, no. But ultimately, feel comfortable to say anything on this show. Your opinion will be respected and appreciated. All right, so let's talk about obviously the thing that's happening tonight, Friday Night Smackdown. Friday Night Smackdown is tonight. I can't wait. It's going to be super, super awesome. We just have so much to kind of dive into in terms of SmackDown, especially heading toward WWE Crown Jewel. Right now, my notes are kind of here. Maybe let's refresh this. I don't know why, but it seems like lately, seems like after the fires in Southern California, it seems like the internet has not been working properly for, well, at least for me here in Southern California. I don't know if any of you guys who could relate. I'm not too sure if any of you guys can. But WWE SmackDown is going to be live tonight from the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina, Southern Carolina. See, I'm so used to saying Southern California. It's like weird to say like just South Carolina. But anyways, so obviously we have a couple of weeks, building up toward Crown Jewel taking place in November 2nd. Like I said, we have just a whole bunch of stuff. Kevin Owens, he kind of went viral. Saying that WWE won't give him time to speak, and then he took to social media, which like I said, I didn't really like it. I get using social media as a way to kind of push, kind of try to get that heel push. And after he attacked Cody Rhodes, and like it's like he feels like WWE wants to silence him, letting wrestling fans think that maybe WWE is trying to protect Cody Rhodes. Maybe they are trying to hide something. Maybe Cody Rhodes does have a little bit of dirt that maybe in the future will turn him heel. Um, it's possible. It's possible. Kevin Owens, I didn't like the way they came out during the WWE Women's World Tag Team match. I didn't really like that spot, although it was a pretty good spot. But I don't know. I just, kind of shutting down women's wrestling when they're getting so much positive feedback, getting so much attention from the WWE universe. I feel like, once when that momentum is like, built up, it's great, obviously. But it's going to be interesting to see what Cody Rhodes has to say tonight as well. Kevin Owens, too much to my chagrin, has gone full heel. He's going to, it's going to turn full. He's turning full heel, which I didn't really like. I kind of liked how he was liked by the WWE universe. I'm not too keen on having him go full heel. But I guess he's on that side. But it should be interesting to find out what happens tonight. There's no doubt in my mind that these guys are going to fight each other very, very soon. I would think probably Survivor Series. And it should be pretty cool. All right, next we have the rest of the card for tonight. Obviously, last week you saw a promo with Legado del Fantasma, kind of looking to get back into the mix. You know what I mean? You know, the tag team champions, obviously the Bloodline in the division seem like they're kind of untouchable at this point. But we have the Motor City Machine Guns debuting, and they're going to take on Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Obviously, it sucks that that they were chosen to kind of be their opponents. Hopefully, it is. I anticipate this match to be one of those matches where, although Legado del Fantasma loses, they're going to be very, very impressed. Santos Escobar is a very impressive wrestler himself. Would love to see him, hold the United States Championship in the future. And also you have Elektra Lopez as well trying to get into the mixes. So this could be an interesting episode for these guys. I've been dying to see them, kind of come alive on WWE SmackDown. But I don't know, it should be pretty crazy. Obviously, last week we saw Jimmy Uso talk about Roman Reigns. I was like, you know what, dog, in the family, I'm the only one who really acknowledges you, and it could get lonely. Obviously, the moral of the story that you've seen on SmackDown last week is that Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso desperately need help. Roman Reigns right now is still a little bit too proud, that he won't eat. But Jimmy Uso, like, he kind of see things toward the future. Like, I have a feeling he knows that The Rock is with Solo Sikoa and the new young bloodline. He's kind of a lost cause. Maybe Roman Reigns is banking on the most electrifying man, the final boss, to kind of back him up, back up his claim as the tribal chief. But in all reality, I think that's gonna go to crap pretty soon. Just get ready from here to till Survivor Series. We'll probably be seeing this storyline highly developed. I want to see Crown Jewel. I want to see Roman and Solo Sikoa go at it. Like, you know what I mean? I want to see these guys go at it. I don't want to see any more tag team matches. I want to see a tribal combat straight up. Then that's when you know, I feel like by then, by Crown Jewel's November 2nd, that's quite some time from here. That's quite some time from here. So, but then again, Jey Uso might have to defend his WWE Intercontinental Championship. But then again, now I don't think that would really make a difference. Every WWE pay-per-view is obviously joint Raw and SmackDown, so Jey Uso is going to be there. Jimmy Uso was backstage on Monday Night Raw this week, kind of giving his brother that look, and his brother being like, "Nah, I know, what? Look what happened last time, Uso." We were basically goaded in to join Roman Reigns, and then he just abused us, treated us like crap, demeaned us, and it just just wasn't good. So I think at Crown Jewel you'll probably see tribal combat. I feel like Roman Reigns will get back up from Jimmy and Jay. But then there's always that one guy. Then The Rock comes in, and then that's when you see The Rock choose sides, and then you'll have The Rock maybe on WWE SmackDown out of the 4-week, break between pay-per-views, maybe twice. I feel like twice, and he needs to be on SmackDown twice. He has not been confirmed to be on SmackDown anytime soon, so it makes me think that probably after Crown Jewel, I feel like The Rock, the final boss, will kind of be there. Next, we have Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, Game 7, which is kind of fitting because, everything that's going down with the World Series, with the Mets, beating the Dodgers tonight, and then you have the Yankees and the Guardians going at it right now. But what, the United States champion, LA Knight, I like him in his spot, but I feel like there's so much, not younger talent, because the LA Knight is still very much young, but he is, as opposed to them, kind of a seasoned veteran. I would like to see the LA Knight just be something different. Not a heel, but it could work. Him as a heel could work 1,010%. He has that like it factor to him. Like, what I mean? He kind of gives me vibes of like, when The Rock goes out there, and like he's just so like, I don't know. Some people like him, some people hate him. But in modern day WWE, you see the discrepancy between the heel and the baby face kind of erase a little bit, which is actually kind of cool because it gives fans, gives them a choice. You know what I mean? So it should be interesting to find out what happens during this match. I'm predicting a winner. Like I said, I really hope that I don't know. I want to see these guys go at it in a triple threat match, but I don't know. Should be pretty crazy. Next we have a WWE Women's Tag Team match. We don't have a match. Do we have a match? Oh no, I think it's just them talking about Chelsea Green and Piper Niven were ringside. Yeah, yep. DIY also and the Street Profits look like that they're going to have a match tonight. And, once again, Queen Nia Jax is going to be seen in a promo, probably, just tempting Tiffany Stratton to cash in on her, which she will. So, can't wait to find out what happens with that. But I'm absolutely looking forward to WWE SmackDown tonight. It's going to be a great episode. Of those who have watched it, I hope you guys, definitely enjoyed it 1,010%. So, all right. All right, moving on to the second segment, we're going to talk about TNA Impact and also Ring of Honor. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, enjoy. So do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some loose shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about everything in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and out. We talk about backstage curtain drama. We also talk about injury updates and active superstar statuses. You know, we talked about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings in wrestling brands. We talk about promotions. WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to the NWA to the GCW to Stardom to New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news, world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1010%. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown preview. We talked about it, some potential storylines for this whole Bloodline thing. So let's go ahead and dig on into some Ring of Honor and some TNA Impact. But before we do any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. So if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, make sure you guys put it up on the screen. If you're dying to share something here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears 1010%. So don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. We just want to make sure you guys, his voice is part of the mix 1010%. And I just really want to make sure that you guys feel like this is your podcast because us wrestling fans, we stay together. 1010%. We stay together. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed and debated about, and spoken of on this live stream, make sure you guys, hit it up in that super chat. It's that $sign below the chat box. Obviously, whatever you send in, greatly appreciated. And it's just a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network so we can keep these awesome, amazing podcasters talking sports, doing what they do best, bringing you guys awesome sports entertainment content Monday through Friday. So that's just, and obviously we are super grateful for each and every one of you guys. We love to say thank you. Gracias. You're amazing. And obviously for those who joins us here Monday through Friday through all the shows, thank you guys so much. This channel is guys, so again, throw some flowers and some love your guys' way. So let's keep the conversation going, guys. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But of course, once again, if the super chat is not your thing, go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, give me your hot take if that's what it takes. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1010%. Of course, in terms of talking sports, it's kind of unavoidable. It's going to be some criticisms. There's going to be a little bit of a debate, disagreements, but that's what makes talking sports, and especially professional wrestling, so amazing. Feedback is a gift, so don't be shy. Drop what you feel inside that chat, and we can have something amazing to talk about. We're going to talk about some Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. Just kind of going over some stuff that happened on Ring of Honor. So all in all, from some of the highlights and some of the reports I read, it was a really good episode of Ring of Honor. Obviously, kind of the fallout of AEW's WrestleDream. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, first and foremost, we're going to talk about we have the results here. The Spanish Announce Project of Angelico and Serpentico defeated Ren Jones and Derek Dillinger. I feel like the Spanish Announce Project feels like what's not that. Who's Ray Fenix and Pento Del's? Oh my God, what's the name of? Oh, they were gonna go to WWE, but then Tony Khan re-signed. Oh, I can't believe I can't forget it. I can't remember right now. Damn it. But overall, I feel like this this luchador, this Spanish, Latino wrestling is just I feel like they're getting some spotlights. Obviously Tony Khan, with Fox Sports Mexico, you're going to kind of want to shine the light on some of these, some of these Latin American wrestlers because first and foremost, they're great. Second of all, once when they, have matches or once when they start having shows across, in Latin America, they're going to sell the tickets. They're going to sell the tickets. You want to make these guys, part of a brand themselves, because wrestling has in terms of territories with the NWA, yeah, I guess they have kind of went south, down to the Southwest a little bit region, a little bit more. But with this whole deal with AEW, with the CMLL as well. Now you have Ring of Honor, now you have New Japan Professional Wrestling, and even occasionally, you're gonna probably see AEW go down to Latin America as well. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great for the promotion. It's gonna be great to see younger fans younger who wants to like establish their name inside professional wrestling because it's so important in in a lot of Mexican culture or Latin American culture for that matter, just about professional wrestling. It's for them, it's cool. Like, what I mean? It's one of those things like, I feel like soccer and I know, the MLS is it's all right. But I feel like soccer in, obviously United States is like highly underappreciated, as opposed to all around the world, it's just like something that's like, bigger and better and stuff like that. So I'd kind of would love to see, a lot of wrestlers and luchadors kind of be a shining stars and kind of lead this revolution from AEW to conquer Latin America. That'd be pretty badass. All right, next we have Yuka Sakazaki defeated Viva Van Sakazaki. After recently, suffering a loss to Mercedes Monet, she's still great overall. No, it wasn't Mercedes Monet. It was Mariah May. It was Mariah May. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Obviously, she's still. I feel like she's almost there. Watching a couple of spotlights. Obviously, it's hard. It's hard. And Yuka, she has that pop. Like what I mean. Like when I watched her, I feel like you were like I don't want to say like anime or anything like that because she looked totally, she looked like she belonged inside the squared circle. She looked badass, and she kind of looked like I don't want to say cartoon character because I don't want to sound rude or anything like that. Or maybe that's what she's trying to portray. Maybe that's a compliment. But overall, I feel like obviously she's gonna be, she's gonna be bigger. She's gonna be a bigger star. It's just gonna take time. You got to let it marinate a little bit. Nick Wayne, obviously, with Mother Wayne, defeated Brian Hook. Nick Wayne with the patriarchy. I'm not too sure if Christian Cage, he would be a great champion. If he goes after John Moxley, I feel like it's kind of, that'd be like a heel versus heel. I feel like there's a lot of heels in AEW right now. I'm trying to think of the good guys. Who are the good guys? Yeah, Daniel Garcia, obviously. Brian Danielson's gone. Ricochet, Will Ospreay. Shoot, is the acclaimed. FTR for sure are good guys. The conglomeration. That's why I feel like Adam Cole is coming back as a babyface. Maybe they need more babyface, tandems and stuff like that. Obviously, with the Undisputed Kingdom as well. Not a lot of babyface. That's crazy. That's weird. In the women's division, Willow Nightingale. Chris Statlander has just been, I guess they're trying to they're trying to book her in a storyline where she's a baby face. But Mina Shirakawa, I don't trust her only because I know like how she was with Mariah May and stuff like that. So I don't, exponentially, trust her at all. But I don't know. That's just kind of great. Hook would be, I don't know. Maybe it is even. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. All right, we have MXN Collection, Mansoor and Mason Madden. Mason Madden, that's a pretty cool name. Defeated Midnight Heat, Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. AR Fox defeated Jack Cartwright. Atlantis Jr. gets back into the win column by defeating John Cruz. And Commander defeated Willie Mack. So that's good for him. That's like I said, he had an amazing match at Title Tuesday against Hologram. I thought that was pretty cool. Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena with Lexi Nair defeated Lady Frost in a proving ground match. And also, during the show, you had Rachel Ellinger and Harley Cameron attempt to bury the hatchet and hug it out. I don't know. That was it's a pretty interesting segment. Rachel, I feel like she's also a women's division star. That's going to kind of be, it's going to be, bigger. She's going to be bigger in the future. But as like I said, in terms of wrestling, you got to let the booking kind of go through. But sometimes it could be bad. Sometimes it could be bad. But hopefully, and for the sake of Ellinger's a career and stuff like that, I definitely think it's pretty cool. All right, TNA Impact, TNA Impact. We had the TNA Impact. We had the show. Why? Damn, I couldn't think of the word show. Shoot. We had the show start off with in memory of Joe Koff, obviously extending condolences to friends and family of Joe Koff. So next we have the Pick Your Poison match. We had the Pick Your Poison match. TNA International and Digital Media Champion PCO takes on Rhino. We found out before it was going to be a no disqualification match. Obviously, it was a pretty gruesome match. A lot. There was chairs, there was baking sheets. It was, it was hardcore wrestling. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But overall, still TNA International Champion PCO, which I kind of, thought would be the right move, obviously. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy. So next we have Ariana Grace of WWE NXT. To be honest, I love seeing her on TNA. She's working with her daddy-o, Santino Morella. So I think that's a great spot for her right then. I'm still not too sure if she is cleared to compete yet. Would kind of explain a lot of her being that liaison between that liaison between NXT and TNA in the women's division. But it seems like right now where she's her character portrayed inside TNA, because you haven't really seen her on NXT. I don't think I've seen her on NXT for like, I don't want to say month, because I don't think it's been a month. Actually, maybe. Damn, that's crazy. But she brought in another NXT star, Brinley Reese. So that means Brinley Reese as well is going to be fighting. She's going to be fighting in favor of NXT, and then of course, then you saw Ash by Elegance, kind of confront her. They had a match, obviously. No surprise. You saw the more experienced, the dominant, Ash by Elegance. She came so close to defeating Jordan Grace at Slammiversary. It was, just the nick of time she could have been. Definitely, she could have been. Next, we have TNA X Division Championship match. Mike Bailey, was it a championship match? It looks like. I think it was. Yeah, and still. Okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I was like, did I read that wrong? Because I talked about it yesterday. So I'll see if I can, if I was tripping or not. Obviously Mike Bailey, but you saw the handshake after. I definitely love Leon Slater in the future. He's the future. He is the future of the X division. So not really any surprise him losing here. I feel like ultimately it does. It's like one of those matches where like he loses, but ultimately because of his performance and the experience that he gained a lot of respect throughout the world of wrestling during this match. He was able to kind of hold up his own against the veteran Mike Bailey, who's been on TNA for quite some time, especially in the X division. So but I'm happy. I'm happy for Mike Bailey. Should be I don't know who's his next guy is going to be, but should be pretty crazy. All right, Mike Santana taking on Brian Myers, but I guess the match, quote unquote, never started because you saw a heated exchange, and Moose attacking him from the hind, laying him out. Moose tells Santana to be careful what you wish for, and it's that's classic professional wrestling. You gotta love that, dude. You gotta love that. All right, so next we have Matthew Raywolt. Sitting down with Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich. Grace was the one who asked for this time. She wants an explanation for Slamovich's actions last week. If Slamovich has been feeling like she has Why didn't she talk to Jordan Grace? Slamovich wants to know how she was supposed to tell Grace. She's been focusing on supporting Grace's accomplishments. Grace says that she won't apologize for all the great things she's done recently. She says Slamovich got in her own way by going to the tag division, which is true. I feel like that is true. Grace talks about how she's beaten Slamovich in the past and thinks about it a lot. She says that every time she faces Slamovich, it gets harder. Slamovich also says that they both grown, so this seems like this was a decent exchange. She wants the title more and more and more and more and more. She may not have been able to beat Grace in the past, but she can now. Grace is happy that Slamovich has found the best version of herself. She has to beat her, though. Slamovich says she loves Grace, but will be leaving Bound for Glory as the new Knockouts champion. That's pretty cool. That's respect right there. Can't wait for that. And Bound for Glory is it's the 26th, so next Saturday should be pretty cool. We have Pick Your Poison match. TNA champion Nick Nemeth taking on Matt Cardona. The Pick Your Poison match in the circle. Doesn't really does it really say what's the match? What was the poison? No, it doesn't really say. Circle each other and lock up in the corner. Cardona now in the corner. It doesn't really. I think they just kind of kick the hell out of each other. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But overall, you saw Nick Nemeth win. We all saw that happen, and we all knew that was going to be the what was going to happen. PCO came out obviously with the distraction of Matt Cardona, but he kind of took his girl from him. No, not really, because a neck injury did so. Kind of crazy. Frankie Kazarian attacks Nick Nemeth inside the ring. Joe Hendry runs out to make the save. Hendry and Nemeth double team Kazarian. Kazarian rolls to the outside, grabs the microphone, and announces that he's going to be the special guest referee in the match between. I don't think that's the right move there. But I don't know. Good for Kazarian. Good for Kazarian to kind of be like, you know what, I want to be part of this mix. So hey, I want to be the special guest referee. So kudos to him. Kudos to him. All right, guys. So hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our third segment. Sorry, we want to talk about Judgment Day breakup. Will it happen? What will happen? What's going to happen with the storylines of each character? And we're going to talk about it when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain drama. We also talk about superstar news. We talk about inactive statuses and injury updates. We talk about the contract negotiations, extensions, and signings. Talk about promotions like WWE, AEW, New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So, we're just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown talk and preview, and then we talked about TNA and also Ring of Honor, last night. And now we're going to dig into some Judgment Day breakup. So, this has obviously been the hottest topic ever since you've kind of seen Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio, along with Raquel Rodriguez, kind of become their own little stable a little bit. Also, when Damian Priest left, well, not Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were kicked out of the Judgment Day, which was probably like the bad decision. But obviously, in terms of storylines, maybe it will make sense in the future. But as of right now, holding the WWE World Tag Team titles seems like JD McDonough and Finn Balor really don't. I don't know. It just don't. Uh, I feel like it's dead. I feel like it's dying. Like it. You need to have a tag team division on Raw, especially it's a 2-hour show now. So now it needs to be part of the teeth of what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw to draw viewers. So as of right now, kind of holding those titles, that's like really the only glory they have. It's like the last thing they have left before if they lose it, then them as a group would and a faction should probably break up as well. There's been a lot of speculations, recently in the news media about Carlito possibly getting a singles push. I wouldn't be against it. I know he's a little older, and kind of thinking about it right now, where exactly would he wind up? He's not really intercontinental champion, material. Maybe having a babyface turn. I don't really see how that would make a lot of sense. But I feel like the best way for this Judgment Day to kind of ultimately break up is Finn Balor. Finn Balor. I feel like he will squeeze out some of the dead weight. I can see him and Dominik Mysterio kind of, but see, that's another thing in itself as well. Like, where does Finn Balor perfectly fit on WWE SmackDown or even WWE Raw? Um, as the leader of the Judgment Day, which I feel like he's not really. I feel like they should absolutely break up. Finn Balor deserves to have, a singles push more than any of these guys. JD McDonough is, holding on by a thread on the roster because of this Judgment Day storyline. Also, I would say Carlito and also, well, Dirty Dom, is kind of with Liv Morgan. So, she's the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion. So he's here to stay. So I don't think he would be really going anywhere. Recently you did see Liv Morgan introduce Raquel Rodriguez to everybody, being like, okay, this is the Judgment Day, welcome to the Judgment Day. So they're bringing in new people. So, I was ultimately kind of an advocate for them bringing in somebody like big and bad, kind of being that right hand man of Finn Balor. Kind of like I would like to see Bronson Reed join Judgment Day. I feel like that booking would be interesting, because he already kind of has that Judgment Day kind of mentality where he's going to go out there and just, wreck everyone and leave and, stick his nose into other people's business and try to make a name for himself, especially with Seth Rollins coming back to the after injury. So, Carlito with the singles push, I don't really like it. Finn Balor kind of squeezing everybody out to the point where maybe he brings back, or like where I think he had an interesting entrance, and I know could have probably most likely just been an entrance. Um, but I don't know. It was kind of like a Prince Devine kind of thing mixed with like the Demon and kind of the old Finn Balor. I kind of liked how Finn Balor was. Right now, I feel like he is on that verge of, finding something big for his future in WWE. Keeping this whole Judgment Day storyline is kind of keeping these superstars afloat. They're definitely going to need them when they move back to 3 hours in January. But as of right now, I just don't see this. I don't see this faction working. I just don't. Maybe they make it an all-girl Judgment Day. I'm just kidding. No, and Dominic Mysterio still. I'm just kidding. No, that's messed up. But Raquel Rodriguez. She's a good spot. She's bringing in that, not like a Rhea Ripley kind of feel, because she does have that, like, that big, bad, strong intensity. Like, this is my brutality kind of feel for Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. You know, I'm not a Liv Morgan hater. I'm not. I'm not. 1,010% I could say I'm not. But I do think she's a better championship chaser than she is champion. So now she's going to only, hold the championship, obviously, because of Raquel Rodriguez, which isn't bad, because a lot, that kind of ultimately explains what exactly heel is inside of professional wrestling, where they're winning by cheating, by outside interference all the time. Like, look what happened, like, when, the judgment, and when, I mean, the bloodline with Roman Reigns. Although, but because Roman Reigns has already established himself as a superstar, he went into matches, people still thinking that he can win without the bloodline. Liv Morgan has not established that same credibility. Not at all whatsoever. The opposite, actually. So it's all right, but it does weaken her state a little bit. But as of right now, it's a safe move right now to keep this faction, relatively like noticed on Monday Night Raw. But they've got to be careful with the bookings here. They definitely got to be careful because you know, you don't want things to like, happen and just not make sense. Obviously, that's the thing that, confuses the WWE universe and kind of, more like that, hands on there, like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? You might do something for the shock factor. It might make sense for about a week or so, maybe a month tops. But then after that, it's like, all right, now what's the point? You know what I mean? But, um, JD McDonough, he's fantastic inside the ring. Obviously he was in uh, NXT UK, I think it was, and he was like a high flyer. I would love him more or less. If he wins like a speed championship or something like that. The more gold you bring to a faction, the more prominent they become on the roster. But, as of right now, I just feel like that the Judgment Day seems like it's not going to be the best thing in the world. It's not going to be it's not going to be in the future. I guarantee you within the next couple of months, I feel like they're going to break up. I'm not trying to be a hater, not trying to be a hater, whatsoever. But ultimately, I don't know. I just want it to make sense at the end of the day. Got a chat from my man, Kervin Abreu. Thank you, my man. Glad to see you inside the chat. Brother, I wish Triple H would stop doing a lot of triple threat matches and tournaments because no longer feels special. Yeah, it could desensitize the special feeling that somebody could get watching like a match like that. Some tournaments, I feel like like you said, if it's too much, it just doesn't make sense, and it feels like they're just once again doing it for the shock factor, doing it just to kind of make matches seem a little bit more prominent. Triple threat matches as well. I'm down with the triple threat matches, but it's been really popular, and I believe it's been more popular more on like WWE, NXT as well. Like having those matches means that the champion could lose they can lose the championship belt without necessarily being pinned, which kind of gives them an out. Like you saw with Trick Williams at NXT Heatwave, he was never really pinned, but obviously we all saw how that turned out. But Triple H, so far, there's a couple of things that kind of leaves me obviously shaking my head, and I'm like, it's hopefully it's building toward a better future. Triple threat matches. I think the only triple threat. No, I don't even know if I'd want to see that as well. The United States Championship match, the LA Knight, and then you have Carmelo Hayes and Andrade both coming after him. So I would feel like it would be kind of necessary to have a triple threat match to kind of, end it all and kind of, but then what's the storyline? What's Carmelo Hayes' storyline, without feuding with Andrade and then Andrade vice versa? I know and then AJ Styles getting injured, unexpectedly. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. All in all, I just hope that WWE, like I said before, and like what Kervin Abreu is talking about here, just don't want to see senseless matches. We don't want to see too much of something because then it loses kind of loses its touch and its excitement and stuff like that. But going back to the Judgment Day breakup, right now it feels like it's necessary. It's the time is now. They might be able to keep it going for like another, you know, month, maybe a month to 3 months tops. But I would love to see Finn Balor go absolutely berserk and absolutely, just like, leave Judgment Day, maybe kick everybody out, maybe perhaps bring back Gallows and Anderson, maybe bring back the Bullet Club would be interesting. But Finn Balor, obviously, after getting injured at the, during his SummerSlam after he won the inaugural WWE Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. His character bookings were never really the same. You know what I mean? He's getting older. I think he's like what, 40? I think he's 40, 41. But obviously, he's the best 41-year-old looking guy I've ever seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guy's still, that guy's swole, man. He's cut. So he definitely has a future in WWE. I want to see it sooner rather than later, to be honest. So, having the Judgment Day breakup could definitely be, the best for Finn Balor. I don't know if it would be the best for JD, Carlito, Dominik Mysterio, or maybe in fact, Liv Morgan. But Liv Morgan right now, her and Dominik and Raquel kind of have their own like little storyline going, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fourth segment. We got a confirmation that WWE Raw and SmackDown are indeed moving to 3 hours in January. We're going to talk about that when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. To access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain drama, and rumors. We also talk about, WWE, AEW, TNA. We talk about all the wrestlers. We talk about, inactive statuses, injury updates, contract negotiations, extensions, and signings. If it makes major news, if it makes major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast on the GSMC Sports Network, Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys check us out. Just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown talk. We also talked about, TNA and Ring of Honor. We also spoke about the Judgment Day, breaking up, possible storylines for, each member if they decide to break up. Most importantly, what would it look like? What would it look like for all these, for these guys to be on their own? Like it would, I don't know. I don't think it would only be good for probably one person, Finn Balor. So it's like one of those things where I feel like, at this point, I guess you got to keep them together. But at the same time, keeping something together, could be bad. If you're trying to make it work, I get it. But if you try to push it too much and it just seems like it's forced and it just, loses its authenticity. And I'm like, nah, I'm over it. I'm over it. So I don't know. I feel like Judgment Day is, coming close to that call. All right, now we're going to talk about WWE SmackDown and Monday Night Raw going to 3 hours. It's been confirmed via sources. I definitely like it. SmackDown has always kind of been a 2-hour show, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously SmackDown's going to fill in that void that the USA Network needed. They used to have Monday Night Raw, but ever since Raw was, basically bought out to Netflix, a lot of potential viewers. I would definitely love to see SmackDown move to 3 hours. I think that'd be great. I feel like you have a lot of talent, kind of like what my man Curvin Abreu is talking about right now in the chat as well. Where he's talking about where is Shinsuke Nakamura, Giovanni Vinci, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin. They see the same people over and over again. Of course, talking about Carmelo Hayes and Andrade fighting each other in 7 matches, 7 rounds. Like, we're not used to seeing that in WWE, kind of seeing the same thing, with, I don't know, just, I can see where that point is being made. But a show movie to 3 hours could definitely help build storylines, give the, WWE a little bit more time to maybe promote names like Shinsuke Nakamura, names, of course, like Giovanni Vinci, who's had, a horrific debut. Apollo Crews. I love Apollo Crews. I feel like he'd be an amazing United States champion, but basically based on his reputation and everything that's happened. Because he came pretty damn close. He was pretty damn close. I think at one point he was a United States champion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Got to fact check that one. But then he turned heel. Then he was this like Nigerian prince doing this, doing a fake accent, and it was just like I don't know, I don't know, but Baron Corbin, I would love to see Baron Corbin kind of get into that, kind of that bigger spot because before Baron Corbin, won the Money in the Bank, he was being pushed immensely. And then, sources say that he had some disagreements with, WWE creative and Vince McMahon and higher ups. And then after that, they buried him, made him lose his Money in the Bank briefcase, cash into like probably one of the most embarrassing moments of his career and WWE Money in the Bank. So, definitely think he has a promising future. But I would, with WWE SmackDown turning to 3 hours, I feel like that could be good for Legado del Fantasma as well. Santos Escobar, I feel like could be, he could be bigger than what WWE's portraying him right now. And also, look at Montez Ford and the Street Profits. The Street Profits right now, it would make sense if they kept them in the tag team division winning championships here and there. They haven't won a championship, I believe, in like 2 years. And Montez Ford kind of looks like, and no disrespect to D'Angelo Dawkins because I love D'Angelo. I feel like he's an athlete in and himself. But Montez Ford is just so over right now. And you see him inside the ring. This guy's a machine. This guy's a monster, man. This guy could definitely hold up a brand. I'm talking WWE Championship status. Definitely feel that. It would be interesting to kind of see if WWE decides to push his singles career, as opposed to breaking up the New Day or breaking up Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I don't know. It needs at the end of the day kind of needs to make sense. Apollo Crews, yeah, well, Apollo Crews won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 37. Thank you, Kervin. Definitely appreciate you. You think the Final Testament? Oh, that's another one as well. The Final Testament, Legado del Fantasma, the American made are ice cold and do not have momentum. And it's true. And I was talking about this on the podcast. I believe I think it was damn it when I was reviewing Monday Night Raw. I think it was Tuesday. How Chad Gable, when he started his singles wrestling push, I thought he was going to be like kind of like a Kurt Angle. I kind of thought he was going to follow in the footsteps of Kurt Angle, maybe win the Intercontinental Championship match against Sammy. That would have been pretty badass. And then you had his fight with the Alpha Academy, and then immediately people were starting to think it was like, all right, maybe he's going to move on, or maybe even include with this with the stable with Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine Dupree, maybe bring in the Creed brothers. And we were expecting Gable to team up with the Creed brothers for probably like a month or 2 months in. We never really got that. All we saw was Chad Gable go heel, disrespect and step on Alpha Academy, and then bam, the Wyatt Six debut, and then they completely, they essentially killed Chad Gable. Like they killed that momentum, and then Chad Gable, teamed up with American Made, and everybody was like, yes, and Ivy Nile, and all the fans were so happy. I was happy. I was like, all right, cool. It's gonna be badass. It's gonna be good for Chad Gable. And then the Wyatt Six kind of, killed their push, because you kind of had these two factions going at it. Which one's gonna get the push? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna look like they have a future in WWE? Obviously, WWE has invested so much time in promoting this Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy thing, which is great, and it could be great. But a lot of sources, a lot of wrestling news media feels like that the Wyatt Six are ultimately kind of underperforming. It seems like it was overhyped, quite a bit. Legado del Fantasma, I definitely want to see them do. I definitely want to see them do better. The Final Testament is another one that you saw on Monday Night Raw. During the Miz talking with Karrion Kross, you saw the Wyatt Six emblem. I want to see the Miz, seek out help against the Wyatt Six with the Final Testament. Seems like that storyline would make the most sense because I would hate to see a talented superstar like Karrion Kross. I would hate to see I dig AOP. I ultimately thought once when AOP went back to NXT to challenge Axiom and Nathan Frazier for the NXT tag team titles, I felt like they were going to win. I felt like the Final Testament would have found a home in NXT. But recently in an interview, and I actually covered it yesterday, Karrion Kross claimed that he will not go back to NXT. He will not. He's a two-time NXT champion, and he's not going to go back down to NXT. Not like it's not like for bad reasons. He doesn't want to go down there because he doesn't want to take any opportunities away from all these young rising stars. He ultimately feels like it's for them. So that's in terms of the Final Testament. It's such a promising start. Such a promising start. But then at the same time, like I said, then you saw the Wyatt Six kind of roll in, and now you have two, screwed up, manipulative, sick, sadistic, dark, ominous WWE two factions on the same show. Like, at this point, it's like why? But overall, I definitely agree with your take. I feel like, they have no momentum whatsoever. Obviously, with the World Tag Team titles around the waist of McDonough and Finn Balor, obviously that doesn't help at all. It would be awesome to kind of see American Made defeat the Judgment Day for those titles, and just this tag team division needs to be bigger. You know what I mean? It needs to be better. It needs to be better. I don't know. It's definitely crazy. A lot of talent, once talking about each show going to 3 hours, seeming like it's going to solve a lot of these problems. And hopefully they do. Hopefully they do, because there's a lot of, unrepresented talent in the heavyweight, in the tag team, in the women's division. It just needs to be, the love needs to spread out a little bit more. And as of right now, kind of alluding to your point that it seems like the same people over and over again seem to be, on the main stage, seem to be the focus of what WWE, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe this 3 hour show would mean that there's a lot of people who could possibly become breakout stars, like Carmelo Hayes, maybe like Santos Escobar on SmackDown, and on Raw. Maybe have Chad Gable finally get a push as the leader of the American Made, maybe go after their Intercontinental Championship once again. But ultimately, I feel like this is good. I really feel like there could be, no negative aspects in terms of this. I know that WWE live events are going to be cut down by well more than half. So, a lot of these superstars are going to give it all they have on the main show, kind of making Raw and SmackDown, bigger, better, and, stronger than ever. So, definitely love that WWE is doing this. It's about time. Obviously, for a lot of reasons, financial reasons, like advertising revenue. It's great. But all in all, I feel like it's going to be great. It has to be great. At this point, it really does. So, definitely looking forward to seeing what a 3 hour WWE SmackDown show looks like. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about my fifth and final segment. We're going to talk about some of the hottest news, all the breaking news in terms of the professional wrestling world with my wrestling news roundup. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about some good old-fashioned professional wrestling. Join me as we talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain drama and rumors. We also talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and signings from promotions like WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Professional Wrestling, the GCW. If it makes major news headlines in terms of the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. So thank you guys for all tuning in and supporting our channel 1010%. Your support makes all the difference. So, keep being amazing. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Hope you guys have gearing up toward an amazing weekend. In October, it's starting to be October weather here in Southern California. So I'm actually kind of excited. We get to finally have fire pits at night and also watch Sunday Night Football. And, I definitely, with the kids outside playing and roasting marshmallows or whatever. And kids are really into that thing. I definitely love that. Got to buy your pumpkins, guys. I'm definitely, I'm kind of lagging it. There's a couple of times, and I'll keep this brief because I got to talk about the segment. There's a couple of times where I kind of bought pumpkins too early and they end up going bad. So when you carve them, all of a sudden you see some mold and you're like, oh crap, shoot. All the kids are all excited thinking that it's going to be awesome. And it turns out it's by October 31st, we usually carve pumpkins the night before Halloween. It lasts maybe 2 or 3 days and it's just I don't know, it just doesn't really work out. And also sometimes you use those little stencils and those stencils are cool and all, but for kids, it's very tedious. It's very tedious. There's a couple of times where I ask my kids, I'm like, hey, which ones do you guys want? And they're like, oh, I'm so excited to carve pumpkins. And after they get done poking the holes and connect the dot kind of thing, they're like, all right, Dad, now you do it. And I'm like, all right, so Dad just carved your pumpkins by himself. So, you're kind of crazy. Hope you guys are gearing toward an amazing Halloween. All right, so we got our wrestling news roundup. Let's go ahead and talk about Kevin Owens. Calls out Randy Orton saying that he betrayed him and he can't believe he picked Cody Rhodes over me. This whole social media thing in terms of the world of professional wrestling is great. It's great. It could be used for good, as well as sometimes it could be used for kind of bad storylines, bad portrayal of characters. And I definitely think this kind of falls under that category. In my opinion, you kind of you have Kevin Owens on social media complaining, seems kind of weakening his character, kind of weakening his his badassedness, I guess you can say. Kevin Owens, I feel like was never really the person to be on social media to be like, hey, you chose somebody over me, you know what I mean? But what's done is done. So now Kevin Owens is turning into full heel. I honestly did not want this. I wanted him and Randy's relationship to kind of still be intact. I felt like it would have made for a little bit more interesting promos down the line. So now you have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton that are probably going to go at it at Crown Jewel, leading toward maybe a number one contenders match for Cody Rhodes' title at Survivor Series. That would probably be the best bet, but I don't know. It's just a little whiny. Kind of like a baby, posting on social media, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I don't really see Kevin Owens like that. Like I said, I kind of see him as fight Owens, fight. Let's settle out in the ring, not on social media, crying like a baby. I'm just kidding. All right, moving on. Dominik Mysterio in an interview calls out old heads like CM Punk and The Rock, saying, and I quote, "They can all come get it. They can all come get it from Dirty Dom, ladies and gentlemen. Dirty Dom's going to be the first one to defeat The Rock and CM." I'm just kidding. No, I would never in a million years think that Dominik Mysterio would defeat CM Punk or The Rock. I think that's not in the future ever. Where's this Dominik Mysterio booking? Where's it going? You know what I mean? What's going to happen after this whole Liv Morgan thing? When he's been fighting during his injury. A couple months ago, it was, it was 3 to 4 months ago, it was said that he needed Tommy John surgery. Obviously, he kind of babied his injury a little bit and was still kind of going out with the Judgment Day. And then now you just kind of have him, kind of being Liv Morgan's his dog, you know what I mean? Her dog. So it's kind of crazy. WWE Bad Blood 2024 brought impressive increase in traditional pay-per-view buys, which is quite shocking because you see a lot of You see a lot of people now subscribing to Peacock, and a lot of pay-per-view buys in terms of the world of professional wrestling are usually from AEW. But I know that's obviously we can get revenue wherever you can, which is pretty cool. Some people who are not subscribed to Peacock, and they're like, they stumbled upon a promo in terms of WWE and advertisement, or they become new fans and they're like, okay, yeah, let's buy the pay-per-view, just just kind of get a taste of it. Let's see what it's all about. So possibly this could be a great way to kind of bring in new wrestling fans, in that key age demographic of 19 to 41. So nothing but good things, coming for WWE if this continues to stay relevant, if people continue to buy pay-per-view or subscribe to watch on Peacock and stuff like that. I got another message from my man Curvin Abreu. If Kevin Owens don't beat Cody Rhodes, what was the point of the heel turn? And at this point, I'm kind of seeing that too. Like I thought that as well. I was like, you know, Kevin Owens, if he was going to be, he could have beat Cody Rhodes. Well, I don't know if he could have, but with his match, where he could have attacked the weakened knee at Cody Rhodes and took advantage of it. But I feel like right now, Cody Rhodes, he's kind of starting his own path as of right now. He's not going to be really intertwined with the bloodline anymore. I feel like maybe up until, WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. I definitely think whoever wins the Royal Rumble will challenge for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, my pick is CM Punk. But I definitely agree. What's the point of Kevin Owens doing this? His contract is still kind of, being negotiated with WWE right now. Is Kevin Owens, can he provide that pop? With Kevin's Owens fight, absolutely relentless. I feel like he could be a great WWE champion, but I don't know. It just seems a little. It seems like the waters are a little muddy. You had his first Universal title run, come with the assist of Triple H. Then he was best friends with Chris Jericho, who helped him win every single title bout. And then he ended up losing the match to Bill Goldberg. And it was embarrassing. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So, I can understand why Kevin Owens would be super frustrated with where he's at in his career right now. And Triple H, you had Cody Rhodes as well too. He won 2 Royal Rumbles in a row. And it's not like they just give Royal Rumble wins to any WWE superstar. It comes once a year. So Kevin Owens winning the championship would bring up maybe a couple of other different storylines, but I think down along the road, I don't think it would really make sense. So once again. I hate how WWE or basically any wrestling promotion does things for the shock factor. And obviously, seeing this kind of breakdown between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, and once again, it could also prove the point that there are not enough top tier stars on the SmackDown roster who could challenge Cody Rhodes, because essentially WWE writing's like, what? Guess what? Roman and The Rock are gone. They cannot, they're not going to be associated with Cody Rhodes. Now we need some new challengers. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. We can have Kevin Owens turn on Cody Rhodes and beat the hell out of him in the parking lot. That would be great. I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like I feel like it's not going to be great. And obviously, maybe along the lines of AJ Styles would have got a shot, but he got injured. And now this Carmelo Hayes and Andrade thing. And, my best bet would probably be Logan Paul coming back as well. Maybe, trying his run as a babyface. I know that they were trying to kind of push him as a babyface before he got a negative reaction from the audience. And then after that, they're like, all right, the crowd hates you right now. Just you run with it. Basically run with it, and then Logan turned out to like start winning by cheating using brass knuckles, and everybody hated it. And then I don't know, it's on the roster right now at SmackDown, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, and clearly it seems like they do need a little bit more firepower. I don't know, maybe you see somebody from WWE Raw come in, like you saw Randy Orton challenge Gunther. Maybe something like that happens. Maybe like Braun Breaker or something. But overall, like you said, it would be absolutely pointless if they if they did this heel turn and it just made no sense. WWE can't do it if it does not make sense. All right. So, all right. Next, we have Jim Ross reveals the reason for staying silent after AEW Wrestling Dream main. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't read right now. Main event match. He said, and I quote, "Sometimes it's best for one to just lay out." At the end of the match, I was silent because I didn't know what I needed to say to continue to sell the moment. And the fact that Bryan Danielson, by his own word, he said that the day he loses the title is the day he's done. He obviously lost the title. So I take him above any wrestler I've ever met at his word. I didn't know what to say. Why didn't you say something? Not my people, but just some fans. There was nothing I could add that would help it. The pictures and the natural sounds, in my opinion, told the story very well. That's why I laid out at the very end. I know Excalibur got very emotional. He cried. I didn't get that far into it, but I appreciate his passion. Jim Ross is an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing wrestler. Definitely the most famous, the most passionate. He's one of the huge reasons why I became a WWE fan. Just on Monday Night Raw, I remember watching it, staying up. It used to start at 9. It was 9 to 11. No, yes, it was 9 to 11 before I went to 3 hours. I remember every day before, before Tuesday when I went to school, I'd be like tired and stuff like that. But overall, like it was great. Watching him and Jerry the King Lawler. A lot of announcing could make sports come alive. Look at Joe Buck with the World Series. In my opinion, I'm not a huge World Series fan anymore because Joe Buck isn't announcing the games, and I know that might sound, a little, childish or maybe a little bit, like maybe I'm obsessed with Joe Buck, but his voice is so powerful. He makes the game come alive. Much like on Sunday Night Football where you had Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, and now you have Mike Tirico. Tirico's all right. He's all right. Like I'm kind of warmed up to him a little bit. But when he first took over for Al Michaels, I was absolutely livid. I was so mad. I was so upset. And now watching him kind of announce games with Kirk Herbstreit on not TNA, on Amazon Prime. He just doesn't have that same like he doesn't have that same bite. And that's nothing, that's not an indictment on Al Michaels or maybe he's aging, maybe he's losing the passion. To be fair, Thursday night football games, I would say probably out of the whole bunch ever since he joined the Amazon Prime has been kind of crappy. He's gotten all the crappy games. Obviously if there's an exciting game, he's going to come alive and he has shown that. So, Jim Ross being silent at the end, I get it. I definitely get it. And I know that like you probably think the natural sounds about it. I think you got to say something. You know what I mean? Like your voice, obviously, the outside around signs, yes, they do tell a story, but at the same time, you kind of need to chime in there as well. And once again, I'm not trying to, say he's getting too old as well, because the moment he retires from professional wrestling, I got to be honest, I probably will pull an Excalibur and cry, guys. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's just that could also have been emotional. It could have also been a really emotional moment. For me, whenever I see somebody cry, I get a little recluse as well, and I'm like, oh crap, I don't know what to say because if I say something that doesn't seem like it makes sense, then I look like an idiot. I look insensitive. Or I don't know. So I get definitely where Jerry the King Lawler comes from, but ultimately, I feel like if you're in that spot, and if AEW was trying to, make the match because it feels like when he was with WWE, when moments like that happened, he was all over the mic. He had so much to say, with all this stuff with Triple H. He's like Triple H, that son of a, that son, like he would just go he would go crazy. He'd go ham, man, and just maybe it was a little bit too surreal, which it was, you know what I mean? It was, it was quite a lot. But, I don't know. I thought overall it was, kind of cool. I don't know. All right, guys. So that's all the time we have today. I have a couple more stories, but I don't want to hold you guys up anymore. Hope you guys had an amazing Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Got my boy Emran with the GSMC Soccer Podcast in 13 minutes. So make sure you guys tune into that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez here, bidding you farewell. Have a great, amazing night. Sleep well. Have a fun, safe, loving, fulfilled weekend this weekend. Remember to follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have the NFL heating up. Make sure you tune into all the hot news surrounding the National Football League by tuning into. We have 2 football podcasts. We got the GSMC Football Podcast with my boy Kenneth. We also have the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast with my boy Manny, and college football as well. Heating up on Saturdays, we got Tommy's GSMC College Football Podcast. And then those NBA lovers, if you guys love some NBA, want to find out some of the hottest news from the WNBA to the NBA, all basketball, watch Nelson's GSMC Basketball Podcast. If you're a huge fantasy sports guy, a lot of NBA fantasy coming around the corner. Those adjusting your roster this week to try to get a dub in your NFL fantasy league. Tune into Chris Shepard's GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast to find out all your stardoms, your sit-ems, who to pick up after the waiver wire, who to cut ties with, but most importantly, be the WWE champion of your league. So why not do it? Because it's going to be amazing. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that your fantasy teams will flourish watching this podcast. So, like always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I'm out of here. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet.